Good afternoon, traders. Today is September the 19th, 2010, and this is your market weekly update. I wanted to go over some of the events that are taking place this next week. It's going to be a great trading week. Some of the volume has set back into the markets. And starting off on Monday, we have earnings from Discover Financial and Lennar. Discover is a credit card service, and Lennar is a home builder. And at 10 a.m. we have some economic news, NAHB market index. So we'll have a little volume here in the market on Monday. As for Tuesday, September the 21st, we have AutoZone reporting earnings. We have Carnival Cruise Lines. We have Conagra Foods. We have Adobe, which is a tech stock, and we have Darden. Now these earnings are great. AutoZone will tell us how car part companies are doing on the retail end. Carnival Cruise Lines will tell us how, I guess, tourism is doing. Conagra Foods is the food industry. Adobe will tell us how this thing's going with them and Apple in their quarterly earnings conference call. And Darden will tell us how retail dining is doing. As for economic events, we have at 8:30 housing starts and building permits. That'll be good because this is before the bell, by the way, so it's going to be a little volume. I believe these home builders will be in play next week. We have Lennar reports, remember, on Monday, and then we have the housing starts and building permits on Tuesday. And on top of all that, here at 2:15 we have the FOMC rate decision. That's going to be massive volume in the markets, and that will lead up for Wednesday, which we will have nice volume in the markets. Earnings for Wednesday, we have CarMax, which is a rental service. I believe they sell their cars too after they use them. We have General Mills, which is they make a bunch of household food and other items. Jeffries, which is a bank. Bed Bath and Beyond, which is retail. And Red Hat, which is technology. So we have some great earnings again on Wednesday. And then we have crude inventories that come in at 10:30, and I'll go over crude oil in this video. On Thursday, for earnings, we have Nike, which Kramer's saying that they're going to beat a shoe company. And then we have Rite Aid. I believe that this will give us a little guidance on Walgreens and CVS, even though it's a much smaller chain of the same kind of stores as CVS and Walgreens. I think it will give us some guidance into how their sales are and everything. And it's such a cheap stock. They usually always have bad earnings. I just hope that they turn it around this quarter. As for economic, we have at 8:30 initial claims and continuing claims. More pre-market volume. This is great. And then at 10 a.m. we have existing home sales and leading indicators. On Friday, we have KB Homes reporting, another builder. Like I said, whatever your bias is on builders this week, if you were looking to get long or short, this is the week to do it. If you're a speculative player, hopefully you have a position before Lennar reports on Monday. Or maybe you want to wait for a little confirmation to see how Lennar did. Maybe it will reflect on how KB Homes did. And then when you get all the housing starts and building permits on Tuesday, maybe that could lead up to a decision to buy or sell KB Homes on Friday. But besides that, economic report on Friday, 8:30 a.m. durable orders. 8:30 we have durable orders ex transportation, and at 10 a.m. we have new home sales. More indicators for the builders and the economy. This is all of the economic and earnings reports we have so far this week. Okay, first thing I'm looking at is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And I want you guys to look down here at the bottom of the screen towards the volume. Look at this volume. I know it was options expiration, but it was 2.5 times the volume, the normal regular volume. And look at this options expiration in July, which was also high. I know this was the summer months, but that's a lot of volume right there. And we busted out of this little downtrend we had going on with the volume. So we have increasing volume, and I want you guys to expect one thing from me. I'm here to not to be a market forecaster and to predict whether we're going to go up or down. I'll give you an idea, but my job is to give you the levels of the main key levels that all the professionals look at for whatever way the market goes. And I'm going to give you the price levels that you need to watch out for and show you some of the main indicators that the pros are watching. That's my job. I will never sit here and be totally bullish or bearish. However, I may lean more to one side than the other at times, but I just want to make sure you guys have the levels because only price pays. So I'm going to switch. We're still trying to get to this August high on the Dow Jones, which is 10,719. That's our level that we need to hit and get past. We have a lot of events in the market this week that could definitely bring us there. Alright, this is the Dow Jones still. We have this declining trend line. Our levels we need to watch. If we could get over this trend line, we could look for a move on Monday back up to this 10,685 level. We need to get over that in order to get to the August high. So basically my target is for resistance. My S1 is 10,685 and S2 is 10,763. The main price level that you guys need to mark on your charts. For S1, we will be 10,572 and our S2 will be 10,510. These two levels right here, I believe, is what's going to either make us or break us. Our S3 will be 10,494. If we sell off, I believe that we will catch support at this 10,510 level and trade in a range until we either break up to 10,685 or we break down to 10,494. Alright, we're now looking at the S&P 500 index, and we have this declining trend line that we've been holding above. We're still above the 200-day moving average, and on Friday we pierced through our August high, 1129.24. On Friday we hit a high of 1131.47. However, we couldn't close above the August high. We closed at 1125.59. But we're still above the 200. We have a ascending 10-day moving average, 50, 21. All the moving averages are pointed up. I know you have a lot of people saying that we're going to turn around and sell off this week. Like I said, I'm just trying to bring you the levels and the key technicals that you need to watch out for. Alright, so 1123.48 will be our main S1 pivot point. Our S2 will be 1115.49. And our S3 will be 1110.27, which was the high from 2 weeks ago. And it's also the downtrend that we have dating back from the last month. Our resistance for a move higher in the S&P, the 50 moving average will have to stay ascending, and we will have to get above this 1129.24 level, which was the August high. This is the white line right here. If we can get above this and hold, this is our R1, this 1129.24. R2 is 1133.58, and if we break this, and we can break this on Monday and hold above it, look for 1141 to be in the cards, guys. Alright, we're looking at the NASDAQ Composite Index right now, and we got a close at 2,315. Our August high is at 2,307.60. We closed over the August high today and we held. That's bullish for the NASDAQ, even though we're really extended, even though we've been up the last so many days, and that's unusual. Price only pays, and I'm not getting bullish until I have some serious data that shows it. And I think that FOMC, that's probably going to be the same. This week could be something that turns it down. Some kind of catalyst could come this week, but until that happens, I'm still bullish. Still looking at the NASDAQ. We have an inclining trend line, still haven't broke that. Our levels that we need to watch out for and keep this intact, the 50 still turned up. S1 is at 2,299. S2 is at 2,279. And S3 will be all the way down at this pivot at 2,249. R1 is at 2,336. R2 is at 2,356. And R3 is way up here at 2,384. For a move, we need to, for us to move higher on the NASDAQ, we need to move higher and hold above this 2,336 for a move higher. If we move lower, we will get below this pivot at 2,299, sell off, sell below it, retest it, and then head down to our S2 at 2,279. That's what's going to happen tomorrow, one of these two scenarios. Or we just trade in this range right here, as you see. But you have the price levels either way. Looking at crude oil, the 75.13 level that I continue showing you guys is going to play a major role again this week. We have a short-term declining trend line here. We have this major trend line dating back all the way from 3 weeks ago that we are flirting with now. If we break this trend line, look for 73.25 to come into play on this crude oil trade. That will be our major support if we break this trend line tomorrow. Another thing to note, we have a declining 50. That's a bearish indicator. If we can't hold above this trend line and this get back above the 75.13 level, then 73.25 is in the cards. However, if we hold above 75.13 tomorrow, look for 75.24 to be resistance, and then if we break that and hold over it, look for us to come and break out of this declining trend line and have a move back up to 77.19 this week. As for gold futures, right now we have this major level at 1275. To get that move that everyone's looking for back up to 1293 then 1300, we need to hold above 1275. And then if we hold above it, our R1 will be 1284, R2's 1293. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. If we sell off below 1275 tomorrow, come up, retest it, and then pull back, we're going down to 1267, because then the 50 will be declining and you'll have a move back down to 1267. I can assure you that. If we hold under 1275, 1267's in the cards. Riffin Index real quick, 776.52 is the level that we need to hold. If we break 776.52, look for 769.32 to be tested, and our resistance will be 785.55 if we could hold 776. IYR is looking very bullish right here. If we hold above this level right here at 53.88 and then get back above this 54.06, which was the high we put in 2 weeks ago on Thursday, look for a move up to 54.41. If we could hold above 54.41, 54.83 will be intact. If we get and hold below 53.88, however, look for us to test this trend line dating all the way back from Tuesday of 2 weeks ago, and then look for 53.46 and 53.30 for support. Last thing I'm going over is the SOX, the Semiconductor Index. This 330 level is going to be our S1, and our S2 will be a 325.82. We must hold over 335 to get a move back up to 340. Have a great day.